Hey everyone, welcome to the first video of our online class. I've designed these class resources so you can take notes while you watch the video. You'll be tested on everything that's in the video, so having a good set of notes to study from is important. Be sure to pause the video to take notes and look things up as you go along. In its broadest sense, biology is the study of living organisms. There are several main unifying themes in biology, including this list shown from your textbook. In this course, we're going to focus on these first four common themes, and the second half of our course, Bio 94, focuses on the remaining four. So of these themes, let's take a few minutes to think more about the first, which is the idea of hierarchy. A structural hierarchy in biology is shown here in an image from your textbook. We can start with a single carbon atom, shown as a gray ball, as the simplest level of complexity. Carbons combine with other atoms to make a chlorophyll molecule. Chlorophyll molecules work together with thousands of other molecules and elements to create a cell that contains chloroplasts. Many different cell types create an epidermis tissue, and there are many different types of tissue in a leaf. And an organism like a tree is made up of several different organ systems and structures and is the most complex level that we'll consider in this class. A common misconception that students make about structural hierarchy is that it has to do with size. And while it's true that trees are a lot larger than chlorophyll molecules, hierarchy isn't so much about size as it is about complexity. The more complex something is, the higher we place it on the structural hierarchy. So we're going to start at the bottom of the hierarchy, and that's with atoms. I'm going to have you stop your video and look up the definitions of the words element and atom in the glossary of the back of your book. Go ahead and do that now. There are 25 elements that are essential for biological life, and the most common by far are these: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. And the others occur in much smaller amounts. Now let me stop here for a second. A couple slides ago, I told you that it would be important for you to stop the video and go look up the definitions of elements and atoms. And maybe some of you did that, and others of you thought, I don't want to stop the video, and didn't go and do that. The problem is these videos look like they're short, 8-10 minutes, and they'll be a breeze to get through, but they are designed to actually make you stop and think, stop and look things up, stop and take notes. It takes an average of 1 to 2 hours for most students to actually get all the way through a video. And by the time you're done, you should have a good set of notes to study from. So just watching the video all the way through is not going to get you a complete set of notes, and you'll not be ready for the test. So I'm trying to encourage you, again, early on, to develop the habit of being willing to pause the video. You'll be doing it regularly. You can pause the video to look things up, pause the video to go get lunch, pause the video to ask a question on the discussion boards. All those are good ways to study in this online class. And the nice thing about the video is you can pause me and then move on. Okay, so let's continue on. And here's a simplified structure of a helium atom. It's a small molecule with just 2 protons and 2 neutrons in its nucleus and 2 electrons that circle. Notice that the number of protons and electrons is equal to each other. A hydrogen atom is even smaller. It has only 1 proton and 1 electron and no neutrons. A carbon atom, very common element in biology, has 6 protons and 6 neutrons, and levels of electrons arranged in 2 shells. The first shell of electrons holds only 2. The second shell holds 4. This outer shell is the most important shell of electrons in biological systems. This is a small section of the periodic table and shows several common biological elements. The little yellow circles and dots represent the number of electrons that are orbiting the nucleus of each atom. Notice that the number of electron shells increases as you move down the table. The electrons in the outermost shell are called valence electrons. The first shell holds a maximum of 2 electrons. And hydrogen has only one valence electron in a shell that holds 2. The second shell holds 8 electrons, and oxygen has 6 valence electrons. You can see it here, and has room for 2 more. And the third shell of electrons holds 8 electrons as well. And you can see some important things like sodium and phosphorus are present in this third shells of electrons. Ions are atoms that have more or less electrons than they have protons, and this means they're positively or negatively charged. This occurs because the outer electron shell of the atom is either very few electrons and is very willing to give them up, or is missing a few electrons and tries to take more. Hydrogen, for example, is prone to lose its only electron, leaving it positive because it's lost a negative charge. Sodium also has a loose electron in its outer valence shell. When it's lost, that leaves the atom slightly positive. And chlorine, on the other hand, has an almost full outer shell of electrons and is missing only one electron. It tends to pick up loose electrons and becomes slightly negative. This is the end of lecture 1, which is a little bit shorter than most of ours. Be sure you're comfortable with the answers to the questions here listed on the slide before you take the quiz. After the next few videos, you'll have some practice problems to prepare you for the first week's exam. Thanks for watching.